but it's really Sabda along with Pratyaksha Anubhav. And it takes time to come to goodness. It's like as we progress. So different people have different baggages, different problems, and different troubles are there. So some people may be not having problem with anger, they may have problem with laziness. Some people are having problem with, they are very active, they are ready to do service all the time, but then they become very angry. So those who are like leaders, they know there are different varieties of people, and you have to engage them in different services, and they bring different troubles also. Like some disciples of Prabhupada would do a lot of services, and but they would do big troubles also. So Prabhupada would say that no, you do big service like elephants, but then you pass big stool like elephant, and I have to come and clean it. So what to do? So different devotees, they have different troubles. One of the devotees was there. He so whole Germany. So he started preaching in Germany. And but he printed the posters in which Prabhupada was looking like Hitler. Yeah, it's like raising the stick and like this. And he had kept that photograph like poster of Prabhupada. It was a good topic which he had put everywhere. But then whole of the German government started thinking maybe another Hitler has come. So it became a very big issue.
What?
Yeah. So they thought Prabhupada is some like another Hitler who is going to like he's going to see the whole turn of the whole crowd and it's like have another world war or something like that. And then Prabhupada had to go and pacify the authorities and do everything. So that time Prabhupada spoke the same thing. He said, you do big work like an elephant, but then you pass big stool, and then I have to come and clean it. And there are some devotees, it's like they don't create troubles, but they don't really do anything. If you do something, there is a trouble. If you don't do anything, there is no trouble. So there is a variety.
Yesterday Prabhu was saying he saw some senior devotees slap devotees, no? I've seen my Guru Maharaj slap 3 different people at 3 different issues. Two is in a public in Mayapur, in front of during Gaur Purnima lecture.
Well, he also gets angry.
That's why like Prabhu say, you get angry in the right place at that time, that's it. That's just that short moment. After that, he's normal.
No, it depends also actually. That's why external anger we can't judge anything. Some devotee even control anger, they know whom to show anger to and when to show anger to.
Yes.
See, it's like we see when you deal with people, it's also different. Some devotees, you become angry with them, they feel very warm. They feel that no, at least you are very open with me. Like when Lord Mahaprabhu became angry with Jagadanand Pandit, no, Sanatana Goswami was saying that no, he is so personal to you that you are giving nectar of chastisement and you are glorifying me like I am a formal person, outside person. So different personalities. And certain devotees are there, if you become angry with them, then they become very threatened. So there is a relationship with big variety. It's not like no straight cut solution is there. Yes. Let's come back. 40, 41. 40, 41, 42.
40. Translation. He threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm, or hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary, began to repent, saying, Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. Verse 42. Oh my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge that the king, who is the best among human beings, is is as good as the personality of Godhead. He is never to be placed on an equal footing with common men. The citizen of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable prowess.
Yeah, so we can find this like ideal behavior by Samyak Rishi. First thing is, Samyak Rishi saw the snake, he just threw it, he didn't take it seriously. So those who are really on spiritual platform, see, tolerance, when we say tolerance, is not just external tolerance. Tolerance means tolerating things with a higher intelligence. So how a devotee thinks, okay, this fellow had put some dead snake upon me, but anyway, I am not this body. See, many times we say it is theory, it's not theory, it is reality. So even if this person has offended, or one who cannot see me, how can he offend me? If I am a soul, somebody cannot see me, how can he offend me? So by deliberate spiritual intelligence, that is the actual way of tolerance. Tolerance is not just, he may be giving me pain, but I am such a great man, I won't respond. I am like a mountain. There may be thunderbolts and this and that, but he stands erect. So that's not called tolerance. Tolerance means by spiritual intelligence, deliberate spiritual intelligence, we preach to our mind. We preach our mind by saying that actual truth is that you are not this body. Nobody can do you harm in this world. And nobody can do any injustice to anyone else in this world. Nobody can harm us more than we deserve. Not possible. And for devotees, anyway Krishna reduces the reactions. So we deserve much more, we got so less. So that is how by deliberate spiritual intelligence one tolerates. So tolerance is not just I am tolerating. Tolerance means we have to preach our mind to come to a higher level of consciousness. Only in that level of consciousness we can forgive anyone. Unless until we are convinced about these truths, which we say sometimes as theory. One problem with the devotees' mind that happens is they don't want to apply philosophy, and then they say, "Oh, it is theory. Let us come to practical. Whatever, let us come to practical." That means you don't believe what is given in the scriptures. So what is given in the scriptures is true. It cannot be wrong. Only thing is because we are ignorant about these truths, we suffer like anything. Because the root cause of suffering in this world is avidya, ignorance. So if you want to get rid of any sort of suffering, whether given by others, ourselves, Adhyatmika, Adhipati, Adidev, the only way is like believe in this truth. So many times we learn philosophy, we speak philosophy, but we don't believe in philosophy. Make sense? So that is the biggest curse which we have. We learn it, we quote slokas, we speak to others, but we don't believe what is given in the scriptures. So that is why we have to preach to the mind again, saying this is true, this cannot be wrong, this given in scriptures cannot be wrong. And if we learn that, then we come to a high level of consciousness. On that level of consciousness, you can tolerate also, you can forgive others also, you can do everything. So because Samyak Rishi was already Brahman realized, he was like meditating on the spiritual reality, unaware of the external situation. So he saw the snake, he just threw it. Because that snake was not on him, it was on his body. It was not on him. Self-realized.
Why, being in such a high position, he could counteract the curse? Now I understand Maharaj Parikshit being a pure devotee or whatever Krishna said. Like Samyak Rishi could have.
I don't know whether he had that power. We're not sure.
Yes. He can curse but not drink.
So retrieving curse is always less. Like throwing Brahmastra is easy. Aswathama know how to throw Brahmastra. Aswathama didn't know how to retrieve Brahmastra. It's like throwing a ball is easy. Stopping the ball you have thrown is very difficult. Anybody can throw a ball. Anybody can shoot a bullet. But to bring back the bullet, nobody can do. So it needs a different type of power. So it's like, so it seems so that. So then he now like he was really upset. So although he's a boy, but he was saying, what you have done? You don't understand that for such a small offense, so many people have to suffer now. Because when Parikshit Maharaj is not in the throne, Kali will easily enter and torment the entire creation. So that is why it's not tit for tat all the times, which generally new devotees sometimes think or outsiders think. He did this, he should get this punishment. Why do you need a judge in the court? Why can't you just keep some software programs there? If then else conditions and no this thing and that happened. Persons are required. Why persons are required? Because we have to judge time, place, circumstance and even person's personality. See, one of the phenomena which it's like, anyway I can speak, that sometimes we find like new devotees come and join in a temple and they find some very old devotees are there. Now they are not able to come for one program or not able to follow certain standards. So then these devotees come and they demand the temple authorities. Hey, why is he here? He should be removed. I have personally seen that. Why is he staying here? Remove him from the temple. But then you see his background, his contributions, what he has done since so many years. He has contributed a whole life, and now because of his old age and sickness, etc., he is not able to do certain things. You are demanding that he should be removed just for a small mistake. So that is why when we take a decision, it has to be taken keeping everything into consideration together. One maybe have done some mistake, but see his background also. See his lifetime of contributions also. And then you take a decision. So that intelligence comes with little maturity.
Yeah, true.
That doesn't come immediately. And that is exactly what Sringi was lacking. So being a new boy, he thought, oh, he did an offense towards the lotus feet of my father, and being a son, I should react. But the point is, understand the consequences. There are many times in India, people are burning this Manu Samhita or Manu Smriti. They are saying that Manu Smriti is discriminating between Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudras, different punishment for different people. It is different because the influences are different. No two people in this world are same. So that is why one has to see the consequences, etc., and then one has to act. So it is not going to be same. Somebody in a very high administrative responsible position, if you just remove him, you have to see the consequences in the entire community. If you remove him, what will happen to the community? So it's not always same, things are never same. So the exact wrong which is did. Please read 43 to 45.
My dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of a chariot is represented by the monarchical regime, and when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, who then once vanquish the unprotected subjects like scattered lambs. 44. Due to the dominations of the monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we shall be responsible.
45 also.
At a time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of a progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagement of the castes and the orders of society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys.
Yeah. So, did you find a similarity somewhere in Bhagavad Gita also?
First chapter.
Where he said that Varnashankaras
Yes,
all
yes.
will be found.
Destruction of the dynasty. So similar thing was there. Because Arjuna was saying that, my dear Lord, from the Arthashastra point of view, you may be saying that these are aggressors and they should be killed. But Dharma Shastra say that those who are acharyas should never be killed, even if they are aggressors. Why? Because if acharyas are killed, what happens? These are the consequences. The consequences are that when there is no one to protect the people in the family from adharma, so then automatically adharma enters inside. And if king is not there, then people, thieves, rogues and thieves become very powerful. No, animals and women are stolen. Sin progresses in the entire world. People are after money, economic development. Because they think, anyway, Artha is going to bring calm, sense gratification. Dharma is not required. So then whole world becomes corrupted. And there is unwanted population. Lord Shankara are born. So whole world goes to hell. That's why those who are leaders, protectors, etc., one has to be very careful before taking any action against them. So that's exactly what. Otherwise, sometimes, very surprisingly, one very common question that devotees ask is that Indra does so many mistakes, Krishna doesn't punish. You've seen. So many times he does mistake. Because the reason is that if you punish Indra, consequences will be more severe than non-punishing Indra. If you don't punish Indra, Lord comes and chastises Indra, it will be a lesson for the whole world. It will come in Srimad Bhagavatam. But if you punish Indra, and there is no replacement for Indra, whole universal governance will be affected badly. So that's why all these consequences are there. So he's saying all these consequences will happen if these Radha Rishis are born.
So this one, sorry.
Sometimes I see the same similarity in ISKCON also. Sometimes we let whoever in charge contribute even though there are some discrepancies.
That is the reason. It's like sometimes devotees say, "Arey, he's doing this, he's doing that, why are you not removing him? Till you get a better alternative and you are very sure about the better alternative, don't remove him. Because consequences would be much better. So removing the authority is not like solution most of the times. Yes, you.
No, I was saying the explanation you give, whole universe will be in this way. Yeah. The Lord sometimes takes the position of Brahma and Indra when there is no proper Indra to rule. So that may not be a reason.
You see, main thing is when you are removing someone from middle. So then what happens is, who will be very encouraged to do another 100 Aswamedh Yajnas and become Indra?
Supreme Lord himself takes the position of Brahma and Indra sometimes, right?
No, that is when you don't get a qualified person. But when you get a qualified person, that means he has that ability. When he has that ability, he may do some mistakes in between. But for every small mistake, if you take such a severe action, who will be, no, even if it is big mistake, I'm saying, who will be encouraged to become Indra? Imagine it's a tenure of one Manvantar. Even from demigods calculation, they live for lakhs of years, millions of years. And once or twice or thrice or 4 times, 5 times, this fellow does some mistake and you punish him. He will be discouraged. Who will become Indra? So dangerous. Like, if you have a lot of severe actions, sometimes people are fearful to become temple presidents.
One time Prabhupada named 16 president one day. 16 president one day one. This story Prabhupada is telling. Early morning come Mangalati, you be the president. Then he said, Prabhupada, 16 of us, how do we? You all agree for that? That's why I named him.
And sometimes some people, I don't know whether that is joke or truth. One day would tell him that one brahmachari for 8 years he would not talk to anyone, hardly he would talk. So, but then temple president had left. So one of the GBGs came and spoke in his ear, why don't you become temple president? And he cried for the first time, no! So it's like such a responsibility, and top of that, anything happens, your complaint goes up. So difficult task. It's a difficult task. Somebody temple president here? No.
Aspiring.
Aspiring.
Yeah, I mean, it's my personality. So, and I have a very good temple president. I'm like shadowing him.
Okay.
So,
You are a rare personality.
Vice president.
no.
No one
My-
wants to be.
My father told me. So he's a congregation person, congregation devotee. And he was saying, see, you are a sadhu, I am not a sadhu. I can't give you much advice. But I'll give you one advice, take it very seriously. I told you what? Never become temple president.
Very tough for it's not.
Anyway, very few people can become like administrators.
Kshatriya.
Read 46 and 47.
The Emperor Parikshit is a pious king. He is a highly celebrated and he is a first-class devotee of the personality of Godhead. He is a saint amongst royalty and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When such a king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with anger and thirst, he does not at all deserve to be cursed. Then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy, who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinated and who deserves to be protected.
Yeah, so this is exactly the reason why he says. So there's something which we can inculcate in our life also. Whenever we see mistake of a person, we should also immediately, deliberately try to see the good qualities of that person, the contributions of that person. So fine, he did a mistake out of hunger and thirst. He had cut that dead snake around the neck of Samyak Rishi. But then what is his contribution? What are his qualities? He is a Rajarshi, saint among royalty. He did 3 Ashwamedh Yagyas. 3, I think more. Yeah. So he did so many Ashwamedh Yagyas also. And he is such a great devotee of the Lord. And out of hunger and thirst, he did some mistake. He cursed him. It is not proper. So that's why he knew that now reaction is going to come on Srinki. So pray to the Lord, please forgive me. Please forgive me, sir. Yes. And this is my famous verse. Worth memorizing.
I have a doubt in the purport of verse number 47.
Yes, yes.
It's the Varaha Purana that the demons who acted inimically towards the personality of Godhead but were not killed by the Lord were allowed to take birth in the family of Brahmanas to take advantage of age of Kali. So what pastime is it?
So I don't know the passage, something which Prabhupada has quoted in many places, not just here in the purport. But what we can see is that those effects are visible in Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga we will find certain Brahmanical classes, they were against our Krishna conscious movement at a particular point of time. So then they can't be called as a Brahmana. So they were the ones when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was going with his yatra in Vrindavan, he threw stones at him. They threw stones on the yatra party. There were Brahminical class of people who misused their position for starting this caste system. There were certain Brahminical class of people in some place of India, not everywhere, but in some places, like in Bengal here. So they would be eating meat, fish, egg, everything, and then they say that we are Brahmanas. Top of that, they started this Sati Pratha. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur was against it. First time I heard the name of Bhaktivinoda Thakur for this only, stopping Sati Pratha. Kedarnath Datta and Radha Raman Rai, together they stopped it in Bengal. So what they would do is, they had a culture of marrying young girls with very old men who are 70 years old. They are marrying a girl who is like 14, 15, 16.
Wow.
So when by the time this girl is like 24, 25, husband dies. And then they were forcing him to become sati.
Wow.
It's like, no, when mine is getting burnt, you throw the woman. It's killing, practical killing. And when the girl would cry and shriek loudly, they would play the drums so that the shriek doesn't go very far away. So such demonic, only demons can do have such a heart to kill someone like that. So that's what Prabhupada is referring to. It's not referring to an entire Brahman class, but there were certain personalities who did a blunder in Kali Yuga. Big blunders in Kali Yuga. And such things are over highlighted by the media today, and they show that the Vedic culture is very bad. So although everywhere it was not like in our place, Brahmanas are like, they don't eat anything which is not offered to Saligram. No question. They don't eat in anyone's house. Whatever charity you give them, and there is no question of eating onion garlic. That's not like, they can't even imagine. And whatever charity you give them, they just accept. When I was small, that time they did some Mahamrityunjaya Yajna. So from 4 o'clock till 2 o'clock, this Brahmana would come and do service. Then he would drink water also. It's like making shivling and doing so many things. And he would do yajna. At the end of the yajna, my father gave him charity of 5 rupees. This Brahmana didn't spoke a word. He just went to home and he was satisfied. It is our relatives and my mother who was very angry with father. No, you shouldn't tell him how much charity to give to him. Then my father and mother went and she took a lot of things and gave him charity. But the point is, Brahmanas, there are good Brahmanas also. But there were certainly demonic Brahmanas, there is no doubt. You find them breaking off 4-day principle and still saying that we are Brahmanas. Then they can't be counted as Brahmanas. You know, here it's like Maskha.
We eat non-veg, then come, they do all Satnarayan Puja and other thing, again take everything.
They do Narayan Puja and they eat everything and then come for puja.
Or it's like, no, they say, no, our Janayu, Brahman thread would be spoiled. So they remove it, eat meat, take bath, and again wear it.
Yeah.
It's like removing Kantimala doing
So such a nonsense. Okay, so it's just like background of what Prabhupada is speaking.
Prabhupada is giving this also in King Vena, the same.
Many places, I think in SSR also Prabhupada has spoken.
It's mentioned in Mahabharata.
Yeah, Varahapura. So it's a prediction of Kali Yuga, and we can see in Kali Yuga. It's not like something which is not visible.
So like the ISKCON, how actually as Brahminical, the Prabhupada want us to adopt, learn the Brahminical aspect of life. How when it comes to this kind of situation, sometimes you can see there's a demand for certain things. Like you say, I've seen whatever you give somebody, they accept it without any question. Sometimes they will ask for more and they will put a rate. Okay, if I do this, you must pay this much like that.
So actually speaking, when we say Prabhupada, what Prabhupada wanted is Brahminical culture. Brahminical culture means culture of moral goodness. Now from the side of institution, because institution is governed by, actually speaking, Kshatriyas. So like a brahmachari may go and then it's like, no, authorities have said that no, this yajna, this must cost, that yajna, that must cost, or this course, this must cost. You are helpless. You don't take money, but at the same time it is the institution who takes. So that's like, we go and we do service and we come back. Like we teachers, we don't get anything. No, we don't expect anything. It's like service.
Yeah,
But but for a
Grasta,
grasta also, actually speaking, if he is a Brahmana, he should not demand.